My name is Calvin Epp, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about ADHD, also known as Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. This disorder is a neurodevelopmental psychiatric disorder. It essentially affects your executive functions in your brain, causing it for people who have ADHD to have a disability to concentrate or control their hyperactivity and or even control their impulsiveness. A lot of people who have ADHD develop symptoms at the age of 6, and most of the time it takes having these symptoms for about 6 months in order for you to be diagnosed with ADHD. 6 to 7% of children across the world have ADHD, and in 2013, 59 million people across the world are affected by it. And of those 59 million, 30 to 50% of those people are going to grow into their adulthood with these symptoms still. With that being said, 2 to 5% of all adults across the world are affected by ADHD. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 12 years old. I was in 7th grade at the time. I had no idea what ADHD was or what it meant and how it affected me or anything like that. I just knew from my school that I had it. I was told to go see a psychiatrist and get tested because I failed class way too many times up until that point. As a 7th grader, it was really difficult because I didn't really understand the problem with not getting good grades at the time. I was still young and I wasn't completely sure why we had to have good grades. And after taking my test, I found out I had ADHD, and that was the reason for why I couldn't concentrate in class. To give you guys an example of what it would be like, for example, if Mr. Tucker was talking about the color blue. For some reason, as soon as he says blue, I'll start thinking about the sky, and then I'll be like, oh, I went out to the park the other day, that was a really nice day. And then I'll think about things that happened on that day, and then 20 minutes of absurd string of thoughts later, he'll be 5 chapters down the road, and I'll be completely lost in what he's talking about. So, after I was diagnosed, it was suggested to my parents that I would start taking this drug called Concerta. Concerta is essentially a stimulant, much like Adderall and or even Vyvanse, for those of you who know what that is. It's essentially a drug that helps you concentrate. It stimulates you, much like caffeine, but with Concerta, it's a 24-hour slow release. So basically, as soon as you take the pill, there's a microscopic hole at the tip of the pill, and throughout the day, the chemicals get slowly released, and it's a 24-hour slow release to help you concentrate. I started taking the pill at around 8th grade, so right around the end of my middle school career. I ended up graduating middle school with the lowest GPA of my entire grade ever recorded at the school. Wow. There's probably over 100 years of history at this school, and they barely let me pass. Wow. So I ended up taking Concerta all through high school, and I graduated 12th grade with top 5th percentile of my class after taking the pills for 4 years. But the story's not over, unfortunately. I got to college. I attended 1 year at University of Tampa. I was in a fraternity and playing on a sports team at the time, but I began to rely on my pills a little bit. I was under the impression that, oh, I went through 4 years of taking these pills and my grades spiked up double of what they used to be. And I began to think that without studying or putting any work into it, I was able to let this pill control my brain and just, help me pass. Obviously, I ended up failing out of University of Tampa, and I ended up taking that summer off. I stopped taking the pills, and I took some time off. I was working, and a friend came up to me one day, and he said, "You've been working for 2 months now, and you had no issues at work. You're off the pill, and I've seen you better than you ever have been for the past 3 years." And because of that, I applied to HCC. I came back to school. This is my 2nd year here now at HCC, and I realized that ADHD is a very serious issue. It affects a lot of people across the world. But because you have it doesn't necessarily mean that a pill or medicine is going to help you fix all your problems. You have to meet it halfway. And there's a lot of people like me that kind of abuse this problem and said that it was the reason for all the wrong things happening in our lives, but it's not. I mean, I was taking the pills, I got better, and I had to meet it halfway. So the point of my lecture here today is that ADHD is a serious disorder. A lot of people have it. Those who do need the help, but they can't be completely reliant on that help. You need to let them know that they have to meet whatever the means are halfway. They have to put the effort into it as well. So my name is Calvin Ebb, and today I told you guys more about ADHD, and yeah, that's all.